All right, all right, all right. How you feeling, Safid? You feeling good?
I'm doing good, Big O. How are you, man?
Exceptional. I'm here in Dadeland here at the KSDT CPA offices. So it's a beautiful Friday. I'm going to a concert tonight.
Nice.
I'm going to go see Joey Belladonna. He's the singer of Anthrax.
Okay, I've heard of them.
You've heard of them. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a metal band, but it's interesting because he's got a voice that is so he's doing all Journey Steve Perry tonight. It's a
Okay.
tour that he's doing on his own, not with Anthrax. It's Joey just on and he has the kind of voice, okay, that he can sing Steve Perry and Journey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like when you listen to Anthrax, you can hear that he's not a screamer. He's a real singer. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna
Definitely.
take the wife tonight to Piper's Pub. So any of you out there, if you're big
That's
Journey
fun.
fans, and you want to hear a little Journey music from somebody that's got a voice and a half, Joey
hmm
Belladonna tonight at Piper's Pub. Are you much of a concert person?
Definitely. You and I have varying tastes in music for sure.
No,
um,
I like rap too,
yeah.
but that doesn't mean
No,
that
there's nothing.
don't,
Yeah,
don't
there's nothing
assume
like
that
a live show.
don't assume that I don't like rap. I do like rap.
No,
Now,
there was.
one of the problems I do have with rap is half the acts aren't very good live. It's
Yeah, that
rap
is a tough
doesn't
problem.
translate always. Like I went to see Lupe Fiasco, and he's phenomenal, live.
hmm
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's so it all depends on who you're going to see. I've seen the Beastie Boys back in the day or Run
hmm
DMC. That's a lot of fun. But I saw Yeezy. No, not Yeezy. What's his name? Oh God, he was opening up for Jay Z. Um,
I've
yeah,
been
it's
to
Young
a couple of Jeezy.
Jeezy, right? Is it
Young
Young
Jeezy,
Jeezy?
yeah. Young
Yeah,
Jeezy.
yeah,
Okay.
and he didn't sound good.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard because you're screaming into the mics when you're rapping. And some guys are not, word for word, like Drake kind of raps and then he'll put it to the crowd, but then it's not really great for a performance aspect of it. I've seen Jay-Z a couple times. He's great. He raps
He's
almost
great.
every
He
lyric.
sounds good. Because
I've seen
he
Jay-Z
has that
probably three
sound.
times.
He has that voice, that sound of
Yes.
his, and it sounds exactly like on the CD. It
hmm
sounds like that live. You know what I mean? So it's really cool with
Definitely.
Jay-Z. I like it.
I've seen Jay-Z in Miami twice and once in Orlando, and I would tell you always go to the bigger city show because the bigger city show is always a little bit more. Like the Orlando show was a little shortened, I believed. Like there
Mhm.
was a point where Jay-Z went to the music board and just started pressing buttons for his all his best hits, and the beat drops. He'll do a couple lines off the hook, and then he'll go and switch to the next song because he's not trying to do all those songs in the Orlando show. But in the Miami show, he'll go an extra 45 minutes or so, maybe, depending on, if he's allowed to or not. But yeah, I've seen Drake, I've seen Lil Wayne and Rick Ross, Nicki Minaj, that was cool. I've
Eminem
seen
is
been
Eminem is
rolling
good
loud a
live.
couple times as well. Huh?
Eminem is really good live also.
I would imagine so, yes. I would imagine so for sure.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's hard for the rappers to kind of do all their lyrics like that. And then most of the time you're just hyping up for the crowd. Like Future and Kodak Black, really bad live.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've seen
There's
Future a
some.
couple times.
Yeah,
Future's
you
good in
got
a concert, but not a festival.
right. Okay. Yeah, that's the only tricky part about rap that you've got to get the right act live, at
Yeah.
times. But tonight, if you are a Journey fan, Piper's Pub and say hi. If you are
How
going to
far are
be,
you from how far are you from Dadeland Mall?
it's right across the street, right behind us.
Arepas Mania on the food court. Arepas Mania. If you like arepas, new
Yeah,
restaurant there in Dadeland. They have a couple locations here in the malls in South Florida. Really great. My best friend, his family owns the restaurant. It's really good, man.
really.
If you want some
Okay.
arepas, go by.
Arepas Mania. All right, I'll
Yes,
check it out. All right, I got to check it out.
check it
Uh,
out.
all right, let. By the way, the Karissa Thompson thing.
Sure.
Oh, she issued a statement? Read the statement for me before we do it because I am one that I find the outrage to be a little bit ridiculous. And
Yeah, I was listening to you and Cam a little earlier.
I find it to be a little ridiculous because it's Karissa Thompson. Let's not throw her under the bus like she's some insider lying to us. we don't look at her for insight. It's just relax, dude. The Joe Burrow thing for me is more of a disgrace than anything else that Karissa Thompson could have done.
Hughes and I talked to both of them about it. What's the statement? I read it. I didn't like the elephant in the room part she said to start it off, but from what I got from her statement is that
here we go. Wait. Let's read it for everybody. Go ahead, Sean.
All right, here we go. Fluff piece. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room. I have a responsibility to myself and my employers to clarify what is being reported when on a podcast this week. I said I would make up reports early in my career when I worked as a sideline reporter before I transitioned to my current host role. Working in media, I understand how important words are, and I chose the wrong words to describe the situation. I'm sorry. I have never lied about anything or been unethical during my time as a sports broadcaster.
You see the walk back on that one?
That's it.
Okay.
But then can I read what she said?
Okay.
Again, that started the whole thing.
What?
I would make up the report sometimes because the coach wouldn't come out at halftime or it was too late and I didn't want to screw up the report. So I was like, I'm just going to make this up.
Right. And by the way, she did a favor to everybody and that works with her because, let's throw it to Karissa. What did the coach say? Well, the coach was in a bad mood and didn't want to talk to me. Now you threw the coach under the bus. You threw the team under the bus. You threw the league under the bus. Now your boss is going to be pissed because you did that. So if she just said, hey, the coach told me we got to stay away from the turnovers and got to play harder back to you guys. I get it, bro. It's not the end of the world, dude. You know what I mean? I've been in this business for 30 years. I've been on all sides of it, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just,
The great Barry Jackson likes to say state secrets, right? State secrets are you going to share them with us before the game, after the game, during the game, things like that. My thing with Karissa Thompson is she said this once before, and the first time she said it, she said she would make up things because the coach wasn't taking her seriously on the sideline. To use her words, the coach would be like, oh, your perfume smells great today, right? So at one point, she's already being disrespected for the job she's trying to do too. Like I understand the uproar by the media people for sure. This is definitely something you obviously plagiarizing and lying about information you're getting and passing it off to people in a story or a report from the sideline. It's misleading. It's a disservice to the fans, and the media's job is to connect the fans to the teams that they love. And when I first heard the news and saw the video, I'm like, kind of taken back a little bit by it, but at the same time too, you understand where she's coming from. Look, when have you ever seen a sideline reporter hear a sideline report and the coach is like, yeah, we got to stop the run. We can't commit any turnovers. We need to try to get Jamar Chase involved. And when have you been like, man, that is so riveting?
Yeah, it's all cliche.
Like, I'm so much better. Yeah, it's all cliche things, Some coaches are better than others in knowing that the sideline report is coming for them either, at the end of the half or the end of the game or, right before halftime. And for Karissa Thompson, what she needs to do is instead of waiting for the head coach, go talk to an assistant, go talk to a player, go talk to somebody else, at least with some credibility on the team and talk about, and then base your report off of that. Look, these coaches are humans and they're trying to win a game. And sometimes people are sometimes in football, like you're so laser focused and spaced out on everything else in the world, right? It's 60 minutes of football and really it's 3 hours, 4 hours of a game where you're just pounding on X's and O's and this and that you don't think about, things that everybody else would think about on the course of a normal day, just because you're so involved in that mix. It takes a little time to come down and decompress and figure out, okay, I have to formulate my words into, something that not only I would tell players, but I would tell other people after the game too. I understand the uproar. But I don't think Karissa Thompson gets fired or anything from this. I think she's probably got a pretty sweet deal at Amazon. I did feel a little bad for her because we were all watching her last night. And usually she's very, very upbeat. She's very engaging. She's, joking with the other guys on the panel. And, last night it was straight hair, black dress, and very just timid, during the show last night. So, she's getting a lot of heat from it and deservedly so at some parts. But, there's people in the media will view it differently. And then people who are just casual consumers of football will view it differently as well. And, it sucks. She kind of does. Her credibility is.
By the way, people lie all the time. we have reporters that are lying for agents
Yes.
and all the time. Okay,
Mhm.
and I told Cam what I'll tell you. One time I knew Pat Surtain was not playing,
Mhm.
and I was the beat reporter at that time for QAM. And so I come back to my my program director, and I say, "Hey, man, I'm going to report that Pat Surtain's not playing." It was a Friday, and he goes to me, "You can't." And I go, "Why?" And he goes, "Well, Hank recorded the Dave Wanstead show on Thursday afternoon, and Wanstead says that Pat Surtain is going to be available throughout the week, and that they're going to work him out before the game, and then decide whether he's going to play or not." And I'm like, "I know he's not playing," and I go, "Yeah, but we can't ruin the broadcast, because if you report it, then they hear the thing, and then they're going to say, 'Well, what is this?'" And
Mhm.
so then I had to swallow it. I
Yeah.
couldn't use the story. And so
And that's
I'm walking around like I'm the only reporter in the country that knows that Pat Surtain's not playing,
yeah.
and I can't say anything. You know what I mean? And,
Well, you guys had a partnership with the Dolphins at that time, right?
yes.
So it's very understandable why.
That's what
And
I'm
yeah,
saying is what Karissa Thompson did is nothing compared to what goes on.
yeah.
It's my
No, for sure. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Look, there's a lot of things going on. Look, Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport, they're um very
come
tied
on,
in. They're very tied in with not just teams and GMs and
agencies,
it's mostly football agents and
agencies.
agencies. And
That's
when
what
you work,
carries her. You and I know that that's what carries Schefter and
of
Woj's
course.
ass is their agencies that are tied to the player. Come
Yeah,
on.
and you don't hate the player, you hate the game. If
Right.
you're a small time reporter who doesn't, isn't repped by an agent or anything like that, but the reporters and coaches are repped at the same agencies. There's a couple of them, and so those people share information. A lot of people are in the know. There's a lot of things that people know that doesn't get out there. And the world kind of goes on, right? And you'll eventually hear about some things afterwards when maybe somebody gets fired or a player loses their job or things like that. But this was a really interesting media day for sure because essentially the I understand where you're coming from 100%, and I would lean towards you as well. But I would say that this kind of revelation by Karissa Thompson, it just sours it for the rest of the
Oh,
people
it's a
who are
bad look.
trying to make their careers as sideline reporters, right? Like, look, Cam Wolf's done a couple games, but when you look at everybody else from NFL Network to ESPN to people working a Miami Heat game and so many other games like that, college games, and you're trying to give a sideline report and you want to have something of actual substance that you can give, a viewer to, insight on their favorite player, this and that. So and so told me a story about how their mom died and they really wanted to play this game today instead of be at her funeral because they know that's what she wanted to do. Sometimes only a silent reporter gets that because it's time and space, and they have a little bit more access than maybe a reporter does during the week. Little tidbits like that. Sometimes those things have so much value that you look at a player, you're like, man, I don't know what this guy's going through, but he's out here playing. And then it's a big success story after the game. It's never really like an injury or something like that. Kaylee Hartung did a good job last night. It felt like she was all over the field, but also, there's times where, Joe Burrow's raised in his hand and he can't throw above 90 degrees. And like, all right, we all see that. And Kaylee spells it out for us like that.
But
So
Hartung's been a
it can go back and
reporter.
forth.
But Hartung's been she's a veteran
Oh
reporter.
yeah, 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 yeah. One of the best. One of the best.
While you see her young there, like she's a young woman, she's been in news, she's been in entertainment, she's been in sports multiple times. She's
Hmm.
very seasoned, actually, and
Yes.
that's where I think the general public, which is what Cam pointed out, which is true, the general public misses out on, like you, me, and Cam, and people in the media. We know the difference between Andrea Kramer and Ramona Shelbourne and Karissa Thompson. We know that
Yeah.
Karissa Thompson is not at the level of those two other ladies we just talked about. Those ladies are considered insiders. Those ladies are well connected. Those ladies are well respected in our business. Like Jackie McMullen and some of the other women, Michelle Kaufman locally here, who's a
Yes.
legit reporter, writer that has been in this business for decades and knows her shit. We look at those women differently than we do the hosts, because whether you're male or female, we're not really looking at you for your insight at all. We're just looking at you to take it in and out of the break and throw it to the insiders and the hosts and the analysis. That's it, dude. That's what you're there for. And
Yeah,
that's
there's
what you look
definitely
at Karissa Thompson for. Come on.
yeah, there's definitely some different media roles. And I just think when she was a sideline reporter, and for her to say that she, said some things that weren't entirely inaccurate, right? And what she said in her statement that Sean read was that she never fabricated something that a coach told her or nothing. She said she would watch the game, and if they were 0 for 7 on third down, they need to improve on third down. I mean, that in the end is not bad. But when you come out and say, I've said this before and I haven't got fired from it, so I'll say it again. It's then you're getting to privilege. Then you're getting to my contract's so guaranteed that I can say whatever I want and I won't get no reprehension from it. So, and that's where a lot of people are upset about it.
She did kill her credibility. Now from here on out, she killed her credibility.
Yeah, I mean, literally last night.
If she ever wanted to be taken serious, it's done.
No, but she, from silent reporting, she's always been a host of shows, whether it's Fox or now this and but she's gonna be the butt of our jokes too. Like literally last night, somebody posted a picture like, I just talked to Joe Burrow and he's doing great, and it was hilarious to see. And it's unfortunate for her. She's gonna have to kind of deal with that.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when you go and do the Barstool interview and you're trying to accelerate your brand or accelerate your work's brand, and sometimes. Not all PR is good PR, but you kind of have to deal with it after the fact.
Yeah, I'm with you there. All right, you
want to talk about Burrow?
Yeah, well, the Burrow thing is, I lost money yesterday on that, bro.
Yeah,
it's the only bet I lost on yesterday. I killed it last night. Bro.
How come you didn't text me, man? I would have been killing it here with you.
You should have listened to the show. I give out all the stuff on the show. I said take the Heat minus 3.5. I said take the Panthers plus a goal and a half. I gave out a parlay, Heat minus 3.5, Jaquez over 8.5, and Bam over 3.5 assists. I give out the information, bro.
That's a nice little sizable parlay you just gave out there. Wow.
I gave it. I gave all the information.
Okay.
I did go Bengals plus 3.5. And I think I easily would have won if
you knew Joe Burrow wasn't
to us about Joe Burrow's that my friends, that's a problem there, because if you guys want to sleep with betting companies, well then you need to come clean, bro, and you have to report every injury up front. What they did yesterday was a disservice to all the people that bet, by the way.
Look, I don't blame the Bengals for what they may have did. But I think I can kind of spell it out for you guys. We saw Joe Burrow hand wrap video coming off the bus, right? We see every time that Joe Burrow had a replay after the game or after he came out, his hand is tucked in, the warmer, right? Is Joe Burrow's hand broken? Is his wrist hurting? Is it a sprain? Does he have one of these bones here messed up? We don't know. But when you look at the Bengals, right, they're last in the AFC North, and that's not a bad place to be before last night's game. But now they're 5-5, and the two teams ahead of them, Browns and Pittsburgh, are 6-3, and Baltimore's 8-3 now. So this was the second game they're going to play against the Ravens. They already lost the first one. You can understand why they had to try to beat the Ravens in this one, right? To try to gain some ground and all that. But I really think they just really miscalculated all of it, right? As much as the Ravens kind of had a lead in this division, like Joe Burrow shouldn't have played this game if he has a hand injury, especially when it's his throwing hand. He's already been injured so many times already in his career. And you don't have Higgins either, right? So Chase has been hurt a little bit. All your stars are hurt, and you need all these guys to be healthy. And these Thursday night games are not fun for anybody because the recovery of the body from Sunday, you probably don't get right until Wednesday. And even at Thursday, you're probably okay kind of working your way back into a real practice. And now you got to go be a gladiator all over again and do what you did on Sunday 4 days later. The turnaround is incredibly tough for all these players. What the Bengals should have done was really focus their energy on the Steelers and Browns, because the Browns just lost Deshaun Watson and the Steelers don't have a starter or a backup at quarterback. their offense is going to continue to falter at some point, and they're going to lose some games. The Bengals should have rested Burrow in this one, let the Ravens have the division, and try to attack the other two teams ahead of them in their division, and still try to sneak into the playoffs as one of those lower seeds, because we know as soon as nobody wants to see the Bengals when they're fully healthy at all in the playoffs.
Oh,
They're the
no.
most electric team in the NFL, right? So the Bengals really messed this one up and miscalculated everything. And I agree with you. This should have been reported, this whole injury. I could understand why the Bengals didn't report it, or they're being investigated for, not reporting the injury. But, if the Ravens go into the game knowing they're going to face a backup quarterback, they're not going to plan for Joe Burrow. So there's gamesmanship there and things like that. But, you and I wouldn't bet Joe Burrow 1.5 touchdowns, right? Or Jamar Chase to have, 90 yards or something like that if we knew Burrow was dealing with a hand injury. You know what I mean?
Yeah, in the
And
throwing.
it's different. And it's completely different than like Mark Andrews having, not being able to hit 25 yards or more because he gets 23 yards on the second play of the game or whatever, and he breaks his ankle for the rest of the year. That's completely different.
You can't
An injury
control that.
happened. Yes, you can't control what happens during the game, but before the game, you're kind of you're doing a disservice to everybody in the public, and I can understand why.
Yeah, but unfortunately, you no longer can accept it. You can understand, but it's illegal, it's unethical, and unfortunately, you have to divulge that information, whether you
Not
like it
illegal,
or not.
unethical is the right word. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it probably is illegal to NFL rules, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, to report the injury and stuff like that. Yeah.
You broke
But
the rule, whatever it is, illegal. It is unethical, but it's you broke a rule, so you failed there somehow or another. I just hope they fine, and since they're cheap, you need to fine Mike Brown a heavy amount of money, because that will freak that old man out, and he'll never do it again. Because
well, I think that comes from kind of not even at the ownership level. You find the owner, but that's coaching. That's gamesmanship. That's trying to have any kind of little bit of edge.
you gotta
When have you heard
Mike Brown, because he'll then pressure everybody else.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why Brian Flores told us all, like, Preston Williams doing everything he can to come back, just hoping other teams would take 2 minutes to game plan for Preston Williams when he's not in the game.
Right.
Sometimes these coaches, they have people who, Brian Flores is one of them. They have people who are reading transcripts, who are watching interviews, who are reading stories about what's being written and hoping to find any little glimpse of something that's going to help them. It's going to help them in the sense that when I'm watching film, I can have already the key of what I'm looking for. I can have a Cliff Notes version of it instead of, what's me having to work even harder for all of it,
Yeah, I'm with you there. All right, what do you think about the game this weekend?
Dolphins better win, man. That's it. That's all I think about. But I do, Dolphins came back pretty loose after the bye, which is good. Like, you wouldn't think they just lost to the Chiefs. Or we've been talking all this time about them losing to big time opponents, but the fact of the matter is so much change in the 11 12. I don't forget how many days since the Chiefs game, but you had so many people lose, right? Now you look at just the game last, Mark Andrews done for the season, opens the window a little bit more for you, which is unfortunate for the Ravens and Lamar Jackson for sure. You see the Burrow injury, you see Josh Allen implode and then lose an offensive coordinator. So much has happened since the last time the Dolphins touched the field. And like you said last time, Big O, everybody's kind of done something for themselves to ruin their part. Now it's the Dolphins' turn to kind of do something for themselves to improve and make it through the end, right? And take advantage of all of these things kind of happening all at once towards him. It's crazy, man.
And I think they should feel good, because
Yeah.
the KC loss was not a bad loss. It was just you made a couple of mistakes there, and that's why you lost. But the way that defense shut down Pat Mahomes and shut down Travis Kelce, that to me is the most exciting thing that's happened this season outside of watching the offense explode, because now I think this was a turning point for the Dolphins. And I don't think we're talking about it enough, because they have to go out and actually prove it. And I think people go back to it and say that was the turning point when Ramsey came back and they shut down the Chiefs, and they've gone on a roll since then. And I think that's what's going to happen now. I think this team's about to get on a roll.
Yeah, you would hope so. And they got, 4 easy games coming up here to really kind of get on that roll, like we said. It's a quick turnaround for the Dolphins, too. After this Raiders game, which you're hoping that they come out clean from, you got to go play the Jets on Friday, right?
Yep.
So you're the only game on Friday. And we've seen in situations before where the Dolphins are the only team on TV and they just mess up.
Yeah, I just think
so
I think they're going to turn the corner here now. I
we
really
hope so. We hope so. Because, every time we give the Dolphins any bit of credit, they kind of have a dud in a big game. And so
yeah. The only
you're hoping that they
is,
overcome that.
The only difference is they have the talent to be great.
Of course they do.
It's time. Put it all together.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the KC game should be a great example. Fellas, if we stay away from the mistakes, we can be pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
And they should have beaten, KC just by staying away from the mistakes. Catch the passes you're supposed to. Don't fumble. Don't create the penalties, all that kind of stuff, pre-snap stuff. Stop killing yourselves, and you can go out there and win these games, man.
Yeah, if the Dolphins,
I really think this was it. This was the moment. That's
right. If the Dolphins are who we think they are and they think they are, then they go out and do what they have to do. This Raiders game should come by pretty, fairly easy for them. They should score early. Hopefully they're engaged and just want to run them out the field. Run them out the stadium in the first half because they have a rookie quarterback behind them. And Devontae Adams, I'm a little worried about just because he's going to be moved around in the middle of the field. They're not going to put him on the outside where X or Ramsey can get to him, but there's only a matter of time before those plays kind of slow down. And then, after that, I just look at, Jacobs in the run game. The Dolphins have kind of been weak in the run game this season. So I would kind of watch out for that. But the Jets game is, that's a huge game coming up. Yeah. And then when you look at, that's a huge game coming up. Commanders, Titans, Jets again. The Dolphins have a chance to get to 11 wins before, in the heart of December. And they could probably get to 12. Who knows? But they have a good chance, man. They have a good chance.
All right. Follow them on Twitter at Safid_Deen. What do you got going on at the USA Today?
Yeah, man. I just was watching Messi play last night. Argentina lost to Uruguay. Yeah, Argentina lost to Uruguay in some World Cup qualifying last night. Messi hasn't scored in a while, man. He hasn't scored a goal in a month, but shouldn't be too big of a deal. Argentina is still doing really good. It's incredible to watch Messi right now, man. He's in the twilight of his career and playing good games still. None of this really, I think the games kind of matter a little bit to him, but in the grand scheme of things, he already has the best thing that's ever happened in his career. So it's just all icing on the cake from now.
Damn right. Playing for Inter Miami. Doesn't get any
better. It's cake, man. It's cake. And I'll be at the Dolphins game on Sunday, checking out the boys, and we'll see how they do.
Screw Paris and Barcelona. It's about playing at the pink and black, baby. That's
we got a great city here, man. We got a great city here.
That's it. All right, Safid. We'll catch up post game on Sunday, my friend. Appreciate you.
Talk to you soon, Big O.
You got it. Safid Deen, baby. Baptist Health is the official sports medicine provider for the Miami Heat, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, InterMiamiCF, FIU, FAU, Orange Bowl, Miami-Dade County Public Schools, Miami Open Tennis, Miami Marathon, and half marathons. And, of course, Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has locations from Monroe County to Palm Beach County. BaptistHealth.net/ortho. Use that QR code.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.